That is an evil laugh. You heard that?
Would you support the mom? Would you support the mom in that scenario?
If the mom had an abortion or the mom went...
No, if she gave birth.
Oh, of course. I would support her. I'd say what you do is a good thing. And
No. Support her financially for the rest of her life or for the rest of the baby's life.
Are you talking about like, what do you mean me support her? Like as a citizen or?
If somebody has a baby.
We do have child support and it comes from.
On this, because I actually do agree with the vaccine mandate. I think COVID was just a huge disaster.
You're a bot.
And I think it could have
That's
ended
tough.
a lot sooner.
Yeah,
I'm sexually fluid, so my law of attraction does not adhere to anyone's standards.
What the fuck
much.
happened to his arms? How does he have minimum wingspan, bro? His jumper got to be cash. He got to have a 99 3-ball for sure, bro. A 99 3-ball, max strength, max 3-ball. I just playing tight sheet.
I don't believe.
Top 10 must-see middle ground moments. Okay, there's right and wrong ways to be a man. Okay, let's start. You know what I mean? Let's get some sound effects in here. Let's just get something. You know what I mean? Let's get something in here. Let's get...
Wait.
Wrong clip. Let's get the energy up.
Believe that they are men, in my opinion.
We didn't hear Satan's perspective.
Whoa.
I think that's completely
Wow, we didn't hear Saint's perspective. It's a crazy soundbite.
true.
I don't want to get involved at all.
They already exist.
Attraction isn't a choice.
I agree with the travel ban.
But I'm on a whole nother note, homie.
I don't dislike men.
We didn't hear Saint's perspective.
There
It's
is a
one
right
crazy, yes.
and wrong way to be a man.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Take a second to think
5
about
million
it.
views, February 27th. Why are they putting a view count in here?
I think that when I originally heard the question being asked, I didn't agree with it, but men are not abusive individuals. Men are not to be cowards. Men are to lead their
Facts.
families. And men who do not display that, I don't believe that they are men, in my opinion. And all of the qualities that I see in my father is what I believe a man should be.
All of those characteristics are what make a man. And when I see a man be a coward in the truth, in just speaking the truth, or sticking up for what's right, especially today in America with everything going on, I'm like, those are not men. Men. Do I care about this? Fuck it.
We're all men, and I don't believe there's any wrong way to be a man. We're just redefining what it means to be a man.
But there are things that naturally come to men. So when you say we're just redefining what being a man is, you have to understand you're redefining a fabric in society that has kept the human race and got it to where it is today. So just like aimlessly throwing out, oh, well, we're just redefining what it is to be a man. That's not just like a light subject that we should be talking about.
But why do you think it has to stay the same? Why do we need to have the same thing for hundreds and hundreds of years?
Do you not see the state
It's not the
of,
same thing. It's just, it's keeping the same qualities.
But do you see the state of our world today? It's not perfect. It's been led by men like throughout all of history. And
This segment is losing me, bro. It's losing me.
We're talking about redesigning.
How much longer this clip got?
What do you want to bring to traditional men?
I think it's embracing that you can be vulnerable. I think that a lot of men want to portray
45
strength, but men are people, and I know that men have feelings.
Being a man and masculinity, those are two different things.
I can't do it.
Women.
I can't do it. I just can't do it. Listen to your heart, baby, now. I'm in the heart, baby, now. I just can't do it. And sometimes it makes me wanna cry. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Nigga ran back on Satan.
Wait, why did you?
That is an evil laugh. You heard that? Yo, did you hear the belly? Wait a minute. Did you hear the belly on that laugh? Turn this shit all the way up, bruh.
Wait, why did you stop?
That laugh came from the belly of hell. Why are you laughing like that, broski?
I was trying to play it out in my head, but then I realized I don't agree with that in a sense, yeah. Well, the fact that there is a Satan who is real, and the fact that he is evil is, I mean, it's an important, pretty central belief that we hold in the Christian faith, and that there is a good and loving God and a Satan who is evil.
All right, let's talk. She geeked. She geeked.
So
She geeked.
let's go back to Genesis, okay?
Let's
God
go back
wanted
to Genesis.
Keep humans from eating the fruit of knowledge, correct?
No. Niggas already fucking up the scripture. Already fucking up. He said, I want to keep you from knowing good and evil. I want to keep you from knowing good and knowledge of good and evil. The tree of good and evil. Get it right. Let's not do that. Let's not do that, bruh. Like, if you want to whatever, that's cool, bruh. You want to love Satan, bruh. I'm not even mad at you. I don't care, bruh. I don't care. But don't misquote the scripture, bruh. It was the tree of good and evil, knowledge of good and evil. Let's be clear before we should start saying shit.
So
She geeked too.
Let's go back to Genesis, okay? God wanted to keep humans from eating the fruit of knowledge, correct? And Satan, or the serpent, wanted to give humans that knowledge. I believe that's a good action.
It's a good action.
That's a good action. That's justifiable.
They geek too. They geek though. That's what's making me laugh, is that they so geek. Why y'all so geek, bruh?
The first person to advocate for equal rights.
Yes. We only heard God's perspective, and from my perspective, I mean, just looking into the Bible, it's like we didn't hear Satan's perspective. Maybe he said, God is a tyrannical God, and I'm going to rebel from him, and I'm going to become a fallen angel to help mankind.
My interpretation and understanding of that story is that God created an environment where and it was an environment of love and peace, and where his children that he created and who he loved, who he created in his image would...
They were naked and they didn't have understanding.
Yeah. And that this was an environment for them to...
babies.
Wait, we gotta hear his whole point.
To flourish. And so he puts them in this environment, and he desires for them to flourish and to live in
he's not the right person to be here, bruh. I'm not even the right person to be there. But like, he don't really know, like she know more of the scripture than he do. It seemed like she know it was a serpent, the knowledge good and evil, you feel me? Adam and Eve. She was turning pages, bruh. He just, like, from my understanding, like, quote some niggas getting me mad, man. It's got to get me mad.
Unashamed relationship with him and his perfection and his glory.
Naked and stupid.
I see God making simple playthings because he's bored, if it's real then, and then saying, don't do this because I don't want you on my level. And if you do, I have to make sure you can't live forever so you really don't get on my level.
Would you think that if you heard that one of your friends was having a baby and you'd say, oh, you're just making a plaything for your...
Depending on their intent of having the baby,
But there are some parents who use their kids as their playthings.
Yeah. But that's how I see the same generative love that out of which God created us.
I think for me, from as much knowledge as I have about Satan, I think Satan is a symbol of freedom and liberty, right? So that is not evil. Of course, like we discussed before.
Forget the Satanists. This is the first time I've seen a Hindu, Muslim, and Christian openly talk and agree.
Or if people commit wrong deeds in the name of Satan, then that's wrong.
For me, I flip-flopped a little, only because I don't think that on his own, the devil, Satan, is evil. I think he's used to represent evil. Whether he does or not, that's what he's used for. It's like very much, his character is very much used.
Let me hear that again.
I don't think that on his own, the devil, Satan, is evil. I think
I don't think the devil is evil. I think he's used to represent evil.
He's used to represent evil. Whether he does or not, that's what he's used for. It's like very much, his character is very much used to say, like, you do something wrong, like, oh, that's an act of, like, the devil, kind of.
I actually want to watch that full one now, because they low-key was spazzing. In that one. And it's going, like, you feel me? She already misquoting the scripture, like, you feel me? Should I watch that whole thing? Maybe I'll watch that one another time. Let's finish watching this.
Anyone can become rich if you work hard enough.
if you work hard enough, I don't think it's hard work, but I don't think it's the hard work.
So I just think that anyone could become rich if they actually like believed in themselves and took the risk to actually believe in themselves, that there is some success at the end of the line of that.
I feel like a lot of it comes down to mindset first and really having the belief that you can do that. I know for me, one of my biggest concerns was I didn't have any skills whatsoever and I didn't get into college. I have like a 2.0 GPA in high school. Like it was terrible. I had such bad grades, but I really turned that into a positive, and I really believe this actually happened for a reason, because now I could pursue something else, which was real estate, because that didn't require a college degree. And looking back now, that was the best thing that had ever happened.
That's like a really sticky situation with anyone can become like rich, and because I don't think that's completely true. A lot of people can if they have like connections and stuff, you know, but I feel like sometimes people like they work 2 jobs, or sometimes they have other things going on. They have to pay their needs first. They don't always have like money for that, you know? Because like my dad, he's like a landscape worker. He has tried making his own company and it doesn't always like work out. He has tried hard. It doesn't work. That's why I think it's like you have to have connects, you know? That's why.
Do you mind if I interject?
Yeah.
In terms of building connections, I didn't have any connections either when it comes to working in real estate. And what I did to make the connections is I went to open houses every single Sunday for months, and I probably met at least 50 or 60.
Hold on, wait. When somebody successful is talking, that's not the time to talk. This is why a lot of you aren't successful in the areas that you want to be successful, because you don't know when it's time to talk and you don't know when it's time to listen. Some of y'all need to shut the fuck up a lot of the times because y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. And the reason that y'all never know what the fuck y'all talking about is because y'all always talking instead of listening. If you actually listen, you might actually know a little bit of what the fuck you talking about. And the more you listen, the more you can learn. So look, this is what we gonna do, right? So in this book, I got a whole bunch of stuff about everything, but there is a portion in here about real estate, and so I'm gonna write down a 10 open house at least once a week. Where should I write that? Attend open houses at least one time per week. All right, cool. So now all we gotta do is just execute on that information. Like it ain't really nothing. It's like, all right, cool. You go to open house once a week, you that much closer. You find somebody, you only one person away. So
estate agents, and it was through that I met one day for months. And I probably met at least 50 or 60 real estate agents, and it was through that I met one agent who was really gracious enough to say, if you want to come work underneath me, I'm happy to do that. And it was really that connection, which
right, he said, okay, he found the agent that offered him to say, hey, if you want to work underneath me. So now instead of trying to go through 50, 60, 70, 100 agents, maybe you could find 10 agents. And if you're offering value, hey, what do you need me to do? Hey, what do you need me to do? What do you need me to do? Adding value, being of service, right? You just going in there trying to serve, right? You go in there trying to serve, then boom, just like that. Oh, boom, okay. I got this thing actually I need. If you could, now we locked in. You feel me? Just like that. It's just shit like that. It's just little nuggets like that. You feel me? It's like only 20% information, 80% execution. That's not a whole lot. Oh, I could write that down. That's a sentence or two. But to actually go out in the field and execute it, that's a whole nother story.
You mentioned connection, that I met that person through just really kind of putting myself out there to meet people.
Right.
There's a lot of institutional and systemic barriers that we aren't really talking about. If you walk into like a Beverly Hills $5 million house not speaking English, they're probably not going to give you the like hookup. We don't tend to move within circles where those connections cross economic and socioeconomic lines. But even beyond that, I want to say like you took a big risk and your risk paid off. But what if your risk hadn't paid off? And that's for a lot of people who do try and start their own businesses, try and start their own YouTube channel. That risk doesn't pay off and there's no real safety net there. So we're not really getting an adequate side of people who have like taken that entrepreneurial risk and not been able to take it again.
I'm almost worried it becomes
Fair.
a self-fulfilling prophecy, though. If you go in it fearing, oh, what am I going to fail, and that becomes your main focus, I think more people are less likely to take risks actually needed to succeed because they're more focused on not failing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think your beliefs create the level of action you take, and the level of action you take determines your results, and it is cyclical.
I was thinking that because I did want to be fair. You take a risk and you fail, and not every, I grew up in an environment where I'm able to take a whole bunch of risk and I'm able to do a whole bunch of different things without, shit hitting the fan. I'm gonna be okay. Like at the end of the day, like worst case scenario, I got somewhere to sleep, I got some eats. You feel me? I got clothes, like I got some place to sit. Like worst case scenario, I got all of that. You feel me? So a lot of people don't have those situations, and I want to be empathetic or sympathetic to those situations and also understand how blessed I am to be in a position that I am. However, though, like when you do think about certain things, you attract it. The book of Job, is a great book, but it's like everything that happened to Job, he was not surprised that it happened to him. So when you fear something, fear is the same thing as faith. When you fear something, it's like attracting it. When you have faith in something, it's like a form of attraction. So,
Spanking your child is an acceptable form of punishment.
That's actually a good question.
I don't want to get involved at all.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Do we have to?
We don't have to do it at all.
I don't even want to stand back here.
Well, we don't have to, you guys don't have to participate in the conversation whatsoever.
But is it going to show our position, like standing back or sitting?
We do see you guys in the background, but we just want to hear his perspective. Then people can walk forward, but if you don't want to participate in the conversation whatsoever, you don't have to.
Wow, yeah, so I'm kind of saddened that nobody else walked forward because not only do I think it's an acceptable form of punishment,
It's the ideal.
but I think it's one of the best. And the reason is because it's effective, it's quick, it's over, it's done, and the kid can go off and play again and not have to sit in a corner or languish in a room or something like that. And it's not about getting angry, I'm mad, I'm gonna whack my kid. No, it's about, okay, you did something you weren't supposed to do, and you're going to get spanked for this.
Sounds good.
So I'm going to ask any of my disagreeers who wish to step forward to talk about this, please do. If you wish not to step forward, you don't have to.
The specific anecdote I have is for my child is one time, as a parent, you can lose your patience, and that happens. We would just kind of like slap him on the hand when he did something like, don't do that, don't do that. And I remember one time he did something, and he started becoming more self-aware, and he started hitting himself on the hand and hitting himself. And I was like, I can't do this. We can't go down this path with him. This is not going to work for, at least specifically for him. And I think it's a case-by-case
Not
basis
for him,
too.
yeah.
You've led your kids in a way that hopefully he doesn't lash out into the real world. I don't want him to react like that to someone else either, and I just feel like that's my responsibility. So.
Yeah, and I hear that opponents to spanking will say, I don't want my child to be violent.
Yeah.
I have 5 kids, 10 and under, and the exact opposite is true.
Because do you think it's a bad memory for them?
What's that?
Do you think that they're going to have memories of these times being spanked, and that it will be
Sure, and I think they'll
something
be
that
thankful for it.
Right.
I would do, because I
would be lying if I said I never have spanked my child. Of course but I don't feel good about it.
Yeah.
Don't you want to raise your child to not want to do things because they feel as if they'll be a better person, not because they're going to be punished for it?
Yeah, both. See, this is hard for me to understand because I come from a culture where everyone, like all my friends, have loving parents that spank them as kids. And now they've grown up to be great well-functional adults who respect their parents and are glad their parents spanked them.
Okay, I'm just gonna say my view.
Mhm.
So
Talk
I
to
don't
'em.
spank my child,
Talk to 'em.
one, because of chattel slavery and Jim Crow. I'm a black person and I live.
I don't know, bro. Because on one hand, it's like, okay, the generational trauma and shit like that and like whatever. But it's on the other hand, it's like, so I don't know, bro. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I know, but it just, like my initial reaction is just like, bro, you dragging it. But and then my second reaction is like, you know what? I don't know. You know, I could very well be ignorant to the repercussions of Jim Crow, like, you know, or slavery and how it still affects us to this day. I'm sure I am ignorant in, you know, some of the ways. So I'm just gonna let it be since I don't know.
Live in a world where black people are beaten all the time. I have a mother who spanked me. I'm not glad that I was spanked. I respect her, but I'm not happy about that. Also the same thing with the people who are like, I was spanked, I came out great. They usually have like anger issues, they're violent, they whoop their own kids, they probably need therapy. Usually they don't even realize how emotionally fucked up they are.
Well, you gotta understand, parenting is more than just I spank or I don't spank. If you're a terrible parent and you think that spanking is gonna fix your kid, you're wrong.
It's not. That's actually a great point.
Step forward
Great point.
if you agree with the prompt. The government has no right to tell people what to do with their body.
I don't know.
Vaccines.
The vaccine.
Yeah, I don't think the government has the right to tell you what you want to do with your... Sorry. Okay. I stood here because of vaccines, but I know a lot of you guys probably look at me like, oh, what about abortion? Now, the thing is, when it comes to abortion, two bodies are involved. It's the woman and it's the fetus. The fetus, you know, has a heartbeat, has...
Old people kill, bro. I don't want to say it. I don't even want to say that playing around, but old people are hilarious. Look at his face, bruh. Old people got it.
DNA, it should have rights.
When?
Life begins at conception.
That's not when the heart's there.
Heart to beat starts at 4 weeks. It's not just a clump of cells.
At
it is
conception?
life. At 21 weeks, it can live outside of the womb. Abortion ends with murder and death.
Over 90% of abortions happen within the first 10 weeks.
That's still, I think that's not acceptable.
But they still
That's
have
still a long way,
the
though.
potential of having life, though. The mortality rate of a fetus getting aborted is 100%. It's going to die when it's aborted.
And you're very lucky you'll never have to experience what it's like to have to make that choice.
But what if I become a father and, you know, the woman who I got pregnant wants to have an abortion? It's going to affect me.
You would have a discussion with your partner then and decide what you're going to do and be glad that you have a choice to even discuss with that partner.
Unfortunately, human nature, if you take away the option or the right to do that, then they'll find it another way.
And it will be unsafe.
And would you support the mom? Would you support the mom in that scenario?
If the mom had an abortion or the mom went...
No, if she gave birth.
Oh, of course. I would support her. I'd say what you do is a good thing. And
No. Support her financially for the rest of her life or for the rest of the baby's life.
Are you talking about like, what do you mean me support her? Like as a citizen or?
If somebody has a baby.
We do have child support and it comes from taxpayer money.
There's foster care, there's adoption, there's mothers waiting.
Those systems are very broken and people all the time are trying to stop funding for programs like that.
Now, I want to ask you guys, do you support vaccine mandates?
Yes.
So I mean, you stepped forward and said the government shouldn't tell you what to do with your body, though. Why would you support?
My issue is that I believe that the government should not be able to tell me what to do with my body, but I have to accept the consequences for the choices that I make with my body.
For
the
example?
vaccines, for instance. I absolutely felt that everyone should get vaccinated. Why? Because this was a pandemic. But if you don't want to, I don't think the government should have to tell you that you have to. But you then have to suffer the consequences of your choices, which means you cannot patronize certain places. You can't put other people at risk.
I know you're saying they're doing it to protect us, but the coronavirus has, I think, a survival rate of almost 98%, 99%, and we're mandating these vaccines. Why are we not mandating the flu?
What's frightening to me is that you're equating some minor inconveniences in your privileged life to
Why would you assume my life is privileged?
unsupported...
Yo! That's fucking crazy. I mean, you are privileged. Just the fact that you're here, you got clean clothes, you look like you taking a shower, you got a nice haircut, you're privileged. Most of us, you know, not most of us, but a lot of us are privileged. So you are privileged and she's probably more privileged than you. So like a fucking old white woman calling a fucking young Arabic-ish looking boy privileged is just fucking hilarious. But yeah.
But why would you see my life as privileged, though? You don't know my life. I mean, I don't say that about you. Why would you see my life as privileged?
I'm privileged.
Okay, that's fine, but why would you see my life as privileged?
For one, you're a man.
You know, most people commit suicide are men. Most people who work in dangerous workplaces are men. Most people who fight in war are men.
And who set that system up?
Men.
I'm going to ask the disagreeers to step forward.
Well, I think
I
I
didn't
give
set
a
that
unique
shit up.
perspective on this because I actually do agree with the vaccine mandate. I think COVID was just a huge disaster.
You're a bot!
And I think it could have
That's
ended a lot sooner if things were more organized.
Definitely. As far as whether the government should intervene on people's bodies, I think there are a lot of instances where the government should. One, to protect the society in general, especially in cases such as a pandemic where the disease could literally wipe out cities. In other instances as well, such as drug use, I think the government should intervene because when you have a society that's addicted to opioids or crack,
That's a good
it
point.
spreads like wildfire. And
That's a
I've
good
seen
point.
it firsthand. It's very difficult to control without the help of government. Now, on the topic of abortion, that one's, very complex. And in general, I always want to favor a woman's right to choose. But I think there's also a very fundamental question that both of you brought up is at what point is a fetus a human or a person? Let's say a child is 8 months in the womb, and at that point, the baby has a heart, the baby has a brain.
8
has
months
legs.
is. No, that is true though. Like it's very, like it's not a black and white statement because if you're pro-choice and the baby's 8 months, that's fucking crazy. 8 months? You were born at 8 months? That's literally murder. That's murder. That's literally murder. 8 months is murder. Like I don't care what nobody says. 4 weeks? So you can't really say it's black and white, bruh, because like who's to say? Like at what point is it, so that's actually fair.
Legs, has arms. Do you think it's okay for that to be terminated? In your
Nobody
opinion?
is doing that. And nobody is having abortions with viable fetuses unless it is a medical emergency that will kill the baby and the mother.
I guess that is fair if nobody's doing that. But I'm saying it's not about necessarily nobody's doing it. It's just the point of morality. Because if you wouldn't do it with an 8-month-old baby, okay, 4, okay, is it 2 months? Like, at what point is it, if you're not pro-choice, or if you're pro-choice, if you are pro-choice, do you think it's okay to do it with 8 months? Like, it does depend on it, because you have sexual assaults that take place, and
It should be easier to immigrate into America.
I don't know how hard it is, so I can't really say if it should be easier, because I don't know how hard it is.
It should be easier. The wait time should be shorter, right?
Yeah.
But I believe that it's so lengthy not because the process is so extreme. I mean, personally, I think it's so lengthy because it's mismanaged.
Yes.
I think that
too many hands in the cookie jar.
Well, that too, but I think it's just like there's a way and a process that should be put in place so it's not
off the
15
muscle.
years. Let's
Off
say
the
that they
rip.
fully cooperate,
Got
right?
energy.
Let's say they have everything, they have all their documents, and they're ready. Yeah, I think it should be a lot shorter. I
So you're
think it could
saying
be
make
better.
it less bureaucratic?
Yeah, basically.
Bureaucratic.
Okay.
Just looking that up. Meaning of bureaucratic. Relating to the business. Definition of bureaucratic. Running an organization. Overly concerned with procedure and the expense of efficiency or common sense. Overly concerned with the procedure at the expense of efficiency. That's actually a great word. That's actually a great word, bro. That's actually a great word that I can use often because it applies so much. Overly concerned with the procedure at the expense of efficiency or common sense, bro. That's so good, bro. That's basically like your inability to read the room. Like you're so rigid in the way that you think things are supposed to go because you have an idea of how things should be that you're losing sight of fucking common sense. Wow. What a fucking word. Bureaucratic, bro. Write that down, bro. Bureaucratic. That's a great word. Let me hear her say it again. That's a great word.
It should be a lot shorter.
So you're saying make it less bureaucratic?
Bureaucratic.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
That's a
I
word.
mean, I think I would agree with that.
That's
I
a
just
word.
feel like when it comes to Trump, you support the individual, but then the bureaucracy, the administration.
The bureaucracy. What are we saying? Definition of bureaucracy. A system of government in which most of the important decisions are made by state officials rather than elected representatives. Excessively complicating administrative procedures seen as characteristics of bureaucracy. Okay, so it's like it's the root of bureaucratic. Wow, we're learning a lot today.
That is so painstaking and just so inefficient, and all of this, it doesn't really compute for me. So I think I'm.
Well, we've only been in there a year, right?
For me,
and we have so many changes that we want to make.
So let's talk about a couple of policy things. What about the Muslim ban or the travel ban?
The travel ban to me was more of a, well, it was something that was created by
Obama's
Obama
ban.
anyway. But it was enacted by Trump. Don't get me wrong. I agree with the travel ban, right? And I agree with refugees. But that's two separate things to me.
So what I'm trying to say is that none of these policies that are happening are not to do with one another. They're all intertwined. When we say we support the travel ban, but we also support refugees, but we also want to like help them get vaccinations, and we also want to do this, and we also want to well, don't forget, we're funding the same bombs that are causing the Yemenis to have to become refugees.
But there has to be a reason, right?
She talking to niggas. Hold on. Do I have a button for that? Damn, I don't have a button for that. What do we have? Let's do this. She talking to niggas, real. She talking to niggas. Like that made sense.
So it's all connected, right? So
why are we bombing Yemen?
Personally, I haven't looked into Yemen.
I guess I'm missing your point.
Refugees you support.
Yes.
Travel ban, Muslim ban you support.
It's not a Muslim
It's not a Muslim ban.
yes.
I support a travel ban so we can assess who's coming in.
I just think it's important to contextualize. Like you're saying, nothing happens in a vacuum, right? And I think that if we start to actually connect the dots, like I'm encouraging us to do, then it'll become a lot more understandable.
I mean, I don't believe in bombing anyway.
I like her. I like the girl. I like those two girls that was up here. The white girl had good energy. And the Muslim girl, she seems very smart, very level-headed, very articulate, you know, very good at communicating her thoughts and ideas. I like both of them. I
would like to answer your question about why we're bombing Yemen. We're not bombing
Yemen.
Yemen.
Look at her eye contact. I'm out of here, bro. What's going on? What is going on? Yo. Bruh, isn't it like how in Muslim countries or like the Middle East, like the eye contact is not like that? She looking down this nigga, bro. Like even in general, women don't usually like to look at men that intensely. They don't usually like to look at niggas like with that type of force. Like that's manly eye contact. Like it's not manly, but it's like, I mean, she might want to this nigga. I don't know, but.
Answer your question about why we're bombing Yemen.
Look at how she's looking at him, bro. Let's stay on topic.
We're not bombing Yemen. We're bombing radical jihadists in Yemen who are killing people. That's why we're bombing parts of Yemen selectively to kill people who are doing terrible, terrible things. And there's a tremendous amount of rape happening in England, taking these little girls, grooming them because they feel.
Wait, no, this comment is actually true. We aren't bombing Yemen. We're bombing parts of Yemen. But you know what's crazy? I was so distracted by how much she was looking at him. I didn't even pay attention to the fact that he said that. And that shit makes no fucking sense. You're bombing Yemen. We're not bombing the United States. We're bombing parts of the United States. Excuse me, sir?
We don't want that here.
Absolutely not.
Those are things we don't want in the United States.
No.
And one other thing.
There's people with predatory behavior in every.
Excuse me,
we don't want it everywhere. We don't want it anywhere.
If I could say this, and you'll get mad at me, but if I could say this, it's not baked into their religion. There are 109 passages in the Quran where people are told to kill infidels and Christians and Jews. There's nothing like that in our Bible or in the Bhagavad Gita or in anything Buddha
Does it
taught.
actually say that? I don't know, bro. I've never read the Quran, but it, Jesus says, love that, and love and peace, and that's the, Like when the man asked Jesus, Jesus was like, bruh, just don't be weird, bruh. Like when he said the 6 things, in my head I was like, bruh, just chill. Just don't be weird. Like, just don't be weird. Don't have sex with nobody, husband or wife. Don't lie and bear false witness. Honor your mother and father. Don't have any gods before. He didn't even say don't even have no other gods. He says don't have any other gods before me. Now, what it says in the Quran about killing Christians and all of and all of these other and Jews and whatever, I don't know. You know, but there are wars and, you know, there are killings and stuff in the Bible. There are wars and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Or any other religion I'm aware of in the world. Until people renounce those values, then they scare me.
I don't think, so I haven't renounced any part of my religion in front of you, so I hope that you don't feel threatened by me. So I'm not sure what you mean by that, and I won't renounce.
I like her. I like her
Islam.
energy.
The point
I like
that
her
I'm trying
vibe.
to make is that you didn't really answer the question.
No, he did. He said the reason why we're bombing Yemen is to save the people. Because I'm assuming that in Yemen,
And
we've
the
got
reason
some
we
bad
want a
guys
travel
in there.
ban is to keep out people like that.
Guys, remember, this is a video about Trump and immigrants. We're mixing too much the religion,
Well, I think
the
when it
race.
comes with the
I
travel
know,
ban,
yes,
it
yes,
brings
yes,
in
but
the
you
religion.
Brings
shouldn't
it
question
together.
somebody's religion. I am very religious, and I'm not putting anything about my religion in here. I'm here to talk about me as an immigrant. You guys are here to talk about Donald Trump, like supporting him. And yes, I've learned a lot. Like, you guys are human too. You have values. Who would have thought, you know, that we would have found a common ground and we wouldn't like hit each other right here, you know, because after the media portraying you guys as bad or us as terrorists, whatever.
You're right. I think the media is portraying us all in a different light.
I think that we're portraying ourselves in a very different light too. I mean, I feel very attacked just now for my religion when I did come here to talk about myself as an immigrant.
Yes,
But
that's
you,
what I'm saying.
But you kept talking about the travel ban. It's a Muslim ban.
You did bring up Muslim though, so you did open those floodgates. And if you feel attacked, that's fair, but you did kind of, you know, and it's like nobody's playing out of bounds. All of this whole conversation's in bounds of the relevancy of Trump and immigrants. It's all in bounds. So, you know, if you feel attacked, that's okay and whatever, but don't make it seem like we're playing outside of the boundaries of the conversation, because it's all in bounds.
To do with immigration.
And it's not a Muslim ban.
But what I'm trying to just say is that no one should have to explain Muslim, Christian, Jewish, none of the above, what they are to you. But Muslims continuously have to defend not only their religion, but their humanity.
Jacked men are more attractive than fat men. Will the agreeers please step forward?
Jacked?
How come there's 4 guys over there? All right, we're living in a bizarre world where people don't see the truth. Like, how is it possible that they're thinking, no, being obese and unhealthy is more attractive than being fit and healthy?
All right, bro, get off my dick though. Like, obviously I'm not obese nor am I jacked. I don't want to be neither, bro. I want to be like, you know, I want to be like strong and shit. I want to be strong, but I want to be wiry. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas can't take a post-it off their back. You feel me? Me, I'm all the way up here with it. You feel me? But if I'm a fat nigga hearing this nigga talk, I'm like, bro, get off my dick.
How is this possible?
Actually, you know what? This is precisely why a majority of women find a majority of men as unattractive. Because a lot of guys think this way, oh, I just be a nice guy and girls are gonna like me. No, they're not. She's not gonna suck your dick with the same veracity when you're a fat as when you're in shape. She's just not. See, people don't understand that women are aroused by one thing and they're attracted by another thing. Women are attracted to, you know, a guy that's confident, ambitious, makes money, etc. Of course, right? But they're aroused by guys that have asshole tendencies, dark triad traits, etc., and guys that are physically in shape. So if you want to get the best of your woman, where she respects and admires you, while simultaneously being aroused by you so she doesn't cheat on you, you need to have it all.
You're saying that's true for all women?
A majority, a staggering majority of women.
There might be 1% of the world that there's something wrong with them that might think that, yeah, you're 600 pounds, it's so hot, I love that, but.
The hot girls that you actually want, they exercise their hypergamy to the highest degree, and they want guys that are fit and have their money together, have their life together.
You're looking at me like you want to say something.
Yeah, because the question was, are jacked men more attractive? We all walked over. Are we more attracted to jacked men?
Well, I'm assuming they framed that because we're all guys here they mean women.
Well, men can be attracted to men.
If I had to
we're just
switch
saying.
teams, I'm going with the jack guy.
obviously this is going to be like personal biases, but I think attraction is very fluid in the sense that I can 100% admit, like there was probably 40 pounds of muscle ago is when most women would be like attracted to me. Of course, like fitness girls.
That's what I'm
totally
saying,
okay
bro.
with.
Like this, I mean, I'm sure some girls like this. I'm maybe some girls like chubby niggas. You feel me and shit like that. You know, so it's like if we're talking about the vast majority of, like we're talking about the majority of women, I don't think the majority of women want this. I would say maybe the majority of women want like you know, like a lean-ish, you know, body type who's tall, you know, athletic, can do shit. That's probably what majority of women are probably attracted to.
With the size I am, but like probably most girls I'm like too much for. So I guess like where do we draw that line of like, I think for example like you would be much more attractive to most women than me. Would you agree with that?
I mean, that doesn't mean that like if you walked up to a girl and let's say you're not her, like you're a little bit more muscular than she would like, if you had the charm and charisma, she gonna still go with you, man.
That's not the question, asshole. Cause if a fat nigga walk up to a bitch and he got charm and he got swag and whatever and he smelled good, whatever, she might fuck with the nigga. You feel me? So that has nothing to do with what we talking about. That's nothing to do. You just went on and on about the whatever, and like you went all up on this soliloquy about the statistically and you know and attraction and arousal, and then now you talking about game. The game has nothing to do with this. Game is a factor that is irrelevant in this conversation. If we're just talking about parents looking at them, that has nothing to do with nothing. Why you on this nigga dick, bro? You being weird.
Don't matter.
I have an interesting point. Yeah. And no shade on you, but I think if you had Zach, right, you're on the end?
Yep.
If you put Zach and Greg and you put them next to each other and you did a poll, I think that most women would probably pick him if you had to like, cause he's got the height and all that. What would you guys say to that?
No.
Okay, height and game and charm and clothes and money are irrelevant. If you're just talking about physical appearance, is it jacked or is it fat? Why the fuck are we talking about all these irrelevant ass shit? Height and clothes, like, bro, money, that has nothing to do with nothing, bro. It has nothing to do with shit. What are y'all talking about?
No. Well, we can put it to the test.
But that's not really fair. I'm 48 years old. He's a lot younger than me. He's about a foot taller than me. But you can't compare. I'm an old man. I'm 48 years old.
Obviously, height is a big component. So that you know, so it's not you're comparing apples to oranges. But if you take the same guy, same height, etc., but one guy is fat, one guy's in good shape, she's always gonna go with.
So why the fuck did you mention charisma?
The guy that's a better.
I don't understand.
Because
bro.
I've been so surprised to see on Instagram there'll be like guys doing like an outfit try on, like not in shape in the slightest bit, and all the comments are women like, I wish like men knew this is how we wish they looked, and like, oh, this is like the dream.
You're
for
liars,
media.
man. Liars for
To look good,
one thing
for
about
clout.
you can never believe what women say, man. You
Correct.
You
Low
believe
key.
how they behave, not what they say.
That's a different episode.
That's all right. Figure
Let's
it
bring
out.
Yeah.
I disagreed mostly just with the blanket statement because attraction is so subjective. I am a big and tall model by trade. That's what I do. I model clothing brands. I've modeled with major fashion houses. I've been on the covers of magazines. You mentioned before dad bod comments and whatnot and on social media. I was flabbergasted when I started how many people were commenting and DMing me and talking about how attractive I was, that it just kind of, I don't know, showed me that attraction is a lot more subjective than I thought, and people have a much wider range of what they find attractive than specifically a body type.
Is being jacked the most important trait?
Not
for being
even
attractive?
close.
I'd argue for guys, it'd probably be otherwise, right? I think height would be a very
Money,
component.
height, fame, like what can you bring to the table?
The number one thing is
Charm.
status. By far, status.
People also go after what they think they can get. So if this guy is 6'5" and extremely attractive, and it's like, well, I can't get that guy. I'm attracted to the 10 on 10 supermodel, but I'm not going to get her, so I'll be happy with the 9.9 on 10.
Just to be clear, are we speaking about
Talk to
women
him.
being attracted to men?
It's not just about women. It's just about attraction. What is the
general?
most attractive, in your opinion, physique for a man?
Okay, I'm speaking from like what women find attractive. So when I speak, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I'm
anybody.
sexually fluid. So my law of attraction does not adhere to anyone's standards.
What the
pretty
fuck
much.
happened to his arms? How does he have minimum wingspan, bro? His jumper got to be cash. He got to have a 99 3 ball for sure, bro. a 99 3-ball, max strength, max 3-ball. Like, what?
I'm attracted to people in general. So you could be jacked, you could be more plus size, you could be skinny, you could be whatever it is that you are. If I'm attracted to you, I'm attracted to you.
What are the traits you find most attractive?
I think the way that you carry yourself is a really big thing for me. I can't date someone who lacks confidence because I feel like that seeps into other aspects of your life.
Do you mind if I jump in on the confidence thing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So growing up, wasn't too confident in myself. And I gained that confidence when I started losing weight. And I noticed it was me putting myself in positions to get more opportunities with women. Right now, I'm single right now, but I'm doing okay. But the confidence came from me losing weight. So I do agree that it's a subjective kind of standpoint, but socially, I understand that physically fit men, that's just like what everyone's liking.
Someone I loved died from gang violence.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
We
ain't even got to get up, man. Just ask a question.
The first time I ever seen somebody close to me pass away, I was young. My older cousin, right in front of my mama's house. Another black man, just typical statistic gang banging. And it's like, visualizing that as a young boy is like, that's probably one of the reasons why I am who I am today.
It's traumatizing.
Like it's traumatizing and it instantly adapts you to your
That's
community,
hilarious.
to your
Who's
environment.
cherry
to
picking these comments?
Where you at? Because it's like, if you don't get down like this, you gonna get down like this.
I was 19 years old, man, and I had seen a lot of people get shot. But I was sitting there talking to this dude. It was actually Kevin Sykes from 60s. We sitting there talking for about an hour. I'm waiting to go skating. And as soon as he crossed the street, the van pulled up. They had been waiting the whole time, and they gunned him. And that's really fucked me up, man, to see that. They could have easily just came up and gunned us both. It wasn't about Cripper blood. It was just about that anger and rage, like, man, want to hurt somebody. And, man, it left something, a void in me that was, like, spiritual. Like, man, what is God doing? But also that rage was like, man, I want to hurt somebody. And I took it with me from the age of 19, and I just felt suicidal. Like, I signed up every day to go out and be dead. I didn't care. I'm going to hurt somebody, they going to hurt me.
To this day, I still think, I'm almost guaranteed that I'm gonna die from street violence.
Are you okay with that though?
Well,
have you accepted that as a man?
Yes, I accept it because it's like all the negativity I done dished out.
See, I want to say something because this is what's causing me to change because I made that same pact, that same vow for my gang that I'm gonna die for my gang. I'll do life for this shit. Yeah. But recent shit has showed me that, nah, I got another purpose. I could do something else. I don't have to die to gang banging.
Let me ask you something real quick though. You gotta.
I'm starting to think humans aren't really logical creatures. Like even men think, like they think logically, but it's not really in the same way. Like, cause that's stupid though. Like I get it, but we're creatures that we're supposed to love. So if we love something and our heart is in something, we'll put logic to the side. Like we're not logic first. We're emotional, loving creatures, and we'll subside logic. We'll subside common sense, good reasoning. We'll put all of that aside for love or, for people or whatever.
Child, a baby, a girl.
I got 4 beautiful blessings.
You got 4 beautiful blessings. So here's the thing. Would you die for them?
Of course.
But that's not what they want.
No,
they need you to live for them. Yeah. And you ready to go out every day and die for them, and them the same people need you to be alive.
Damn, man. I done lost so many homies.
It's crazy because like when you talk to somebody, they know the right answer, but you can't really change the way somebody move based off of what they know they should do. You gotta change their heart. You gotta change their heart. Like, when God enters, like, God, it's like when you have a relationship with God, it's not like God's giving you like, yes, God gives you wisdom, but that's not where the shift happens with information. The shift happens when God gets into your heart and God gets into your spirit. Once God gets into your heart and your spirit, it's a done deal. It's over with. It's done.
I done lost some Crip homies. I done lost some blood homies. I'm over with this gang banging shit. If something happened to y'all will see that I'm so serious about this shit. But I'm on a whole nother note, homie.
Respect.
You feel me? And I don't want to lose y'all. If motherfuckers don't wake up and let's save each other so it don't have to be no more losses, we gonna lose. Straight up.
Today, women have more advantages than men.
Are y'all serious? Come on. That's y'all wilding now. Now y'all doing it, bro.
I can speak from a hiring standpoint when it comes to things like affirmative action, and there are certain roles that traditionally men and women have been able to serve in, and now women can basically do all of those things, right? Because we've had such a strong advocacy for equal representation in the workplace. Whereas, for example, you'll never find a man as a midwife nurse, and I don't think it's appropriate. That's why there are those differences.
Women in like the most important parts of
I feel like he's
society
trolling.
have an advantage. There's a lot of
like he's
positions
trolling.
that men simply aren't getting hired at anymore because of the fact that they're a man. And it's not just in the workforce. It's also, I would say, it's a lot easier for a woman to find a relationship, even if she says it's finding the right guy is so hard. It really isn't. But sometimes for a lot of guys, finding a girl at all is hard.
Yeah, I mean that could be true, man. I can't lie. I've been blessed. I've been blessed. And to not acknowledge those blessings, like I'm tall, I'm relatively tall. I'm not 6. I'm basically whatever. You feel me? I'm taller than the average man. I'm fairly good looking. I'm healthy. I got beautiful lashes. I got pretty eyes. I got nice eyelashes. I got a good physique that I do work to maintain, but I have a natural, nice build and frame. And, so it's just like, yeah, for a lot of niggas, it's going to be tough to find anybody, So I understand it.
If I have to consider what I wear before stepping out the house, because I don't want to draw some type of attention, I don't know how many other men have to consider, is this outfit going to be deemed safe for me? Any situation that I have experienced where I physically felt endangered simply because I don't want to give my number out. It's part of that entitlement for men. You're not entitled a conversation with me. You're not entitled to my number.
That aside, it's like, are you going to make one example of the entitlement of men when it comes to asking for your number be the all-encompassing...
She's about to get heated. I could already tell.
...of the entitlement of men when it comes to...
She's about to tee up. She's about to balk on somebody. Word, she really thinking right now. She like, these niggas really pissing me off, bro. And these niggas really think they talking about something. Cause if I already know if I start talking, I'ma really tee up, and I'm not even trying to be on that. But niggas got these cameras in front of me, and they got these niggas talking like they know what they talking about. If I really tee up, shit really gonna get active. Shit really gonna be a problem. Word to me, yo, son, just chill. But she about to tee up. Word.
To asking for your number be the all-encompassing thing that all men have a problem when it comes to approaching women?
Well, firstly, it's not just an example. It's not necessarily all men. I don't dislike men. I love sports. I play video games. I have bros. I hang out with dudes. We just want men to realize that if you have friends that are having locker room talk, as a man, as an ally, please say something to your friends.
Do you think repressing that is really the solution here, though? If it's in a healthy male space...
I don't think that's healthy. I think it's toxic in itself.
I mean, if you're making jokes and you're doing all of that...
Jokes that are harmful jokes are not healthy because they just lead to people normalizing things. People always say, oh, it's just a joke. But when someone else hears it, they don't realize how that resonates. And again, how that turns into violence. This is not an isolated situation. I'm only thinking of 3 off the top of my head because if I think of too many, I'm going to spiral
so
right now.
So what's the alternative?
She's about to crash out.
Talk about these things.
No, I think men can have a healthy
that.
dialogue. I don't think men have to be toxic in order to have a conversation. I know plenty of men that are able to have conversations about healthy, productive things, just like women are.
Well, it's not obviously something that I have personally experienced
Is this Derek?
but only 1% of all people on the death row are women in this country. So when women and men commit identical crimes, women are much more likely to, for example, escape the death penalty. And that's just...
What the fuck are we? We're talking about irrelevant ass shit. That's a bureaucratic point right there. But it is though, because you're trying to say something that's losing the sight of common sense. the relevancy of niggas escaping the death penalty is literally minimal, and it's not relevant for this. It's not relevant for this conversation, bro. What percentage of that is it making up? We're talking about generalities, bro. You talking about niggas escaping the death penalty? Like, what percentage? Like, is it like a couple hundred out of the whole United States, bro? That's not a relevant conversation. Come on, bro. We gotta talk about everyday shit primarily, at least. What's everyday shit? Every day women have to worry about getting raped or assaulted, or every day women, like, what is a disadvantage as a man? Like, I get to pee whenever I want. God is good, man. Like, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but God is really good. Like, I could just go pee whenever I want, bro. I know girls, they be like, oh, I gotta pee. I'm like, bro, I can't hold my pee, bro. Like, if I was you, I don't know what I would be doing, bro. I had to, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got the makeup, which y'all put on yourselves, but it's still something you have to deal with. The makeup and the cattiness. Girls don't even know how to be friends with each other. Like, everyday stuff, men have it much easier. Wait, what is a everyday thing that women have an advantage in that men don't? That men, you know, it's easier to find a boyfriend, or, you know, it's easier to find a man for a woman than it is for a man to find a woman. Like, I mean, that's not really I mean, I guess it could be, but, you know, nah, women have it harder for sure.
Just plain sex-based discrimination.
That I agree on.
That's true. Look, I'm thinking about basic needs, like around the globe, the women who don't even have like proper like sanitary like products.
Bureaucratic.
I have to agree. Just small things like a tax on a box of tampons. Do you think I choose to do this monthly?
That's a much more relevant case than the death penalty, because that's a very regular occurrence.
No, trust me. So why should I have to pay taxes when this is a medical necessity?
We're just like dismissed. A lot of our symptoms, a lot of the things we report, especially women of color, but women across the board, are just treated a lot less equally.
Don't everybody rush forward. When I first decided to go to Santa Monica Community College, I spent an hour on the campus just looking at who was there. And I realized that there had to be something extremely fair about it because of the diversity I was seeing. I was seeing people of every color, of every age, obviously. I was welcomed there. Nobody questioned my being too old for college.
If you want to address me, you can address me as he or she or them or girl, Becky with the good hair, or Beck. Yeah. It doesn't, as long as the term is respectful,
right? Yeah.
I will take it.
As long as the respect is there.
In 2018, for instance, only in America, there are 257 million people who have a smartphone. And out of these people, 80% of people are on social media. Any one of these 80% can actually become an Instagram model. And I think that really very small portion of people can become a fashion model. It's completely different, because if you take away the makeup, if you take away the filters, if you take away maybe the plastic surgery and all the retouching, see what is really at the end. You know?
I wouldn't necessarily agree with that.
I'll be doing that shit, I'll be dead. I mean, alive. He's so alive.
As uneducated.
I'm running.
They think they are uneducated.
I'm running for this.
Well, they certainly think they're educated.
And they're following quite a bit of